Hey everybody, and welcome to our first ever episode of the Living Room Report. My name is Ben, this is my beautiful wife Courtney, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to be having us a little game review talk show. We're going to be talking about what video games we're playing, what we like, what we don't like about them.
Pretty much what we talk about all the time.
Yeah, we're just big video game nerds, and we just want to talk about video games. We're not going to be streaming our gameplay.
But you do have some videos already on the website that show some gameplay.
Yeah,
so
YouTube
far.
has some of my gameplay already, but like I said, we want to do more of like a talk show. So,
as it were.
With the holiday season right around the corner, let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I want to talk about is Marvel's Spider-Man.
Awesome.
And we can't talk about it without, of course, saying rest in peace to the late, great Stan Lee.
I know.
Who has done so much for so many comic book and video game fans all around the world. It's no secret that he was a huge fan of his fans. And
he left behind a huge legacy, I think. I think that he left behind a legacy that's going to make, I don't know, him happy for wherever he's at.
Yeah. All of his cameos, of the characters they created, these things will live on forever, and I just want to thank him for that. So that being said, Marvel's Spider-Man, of course created by Insomniac Games, the studio behind Ratchet & Clank, as well as Sunset Overdrive, which now is finally available on PC. We, of course, play most of our games on the PlayStation 4.
My favorite console by far.
Yeah, we're pretty much Sony people.
Yeah.
Who've actually just announced that they won't be at E3 in 2019. So we'll see how the other guys sort of take advantage of their absence.
I've always loved their presentations too, because usually they have big surprises or something. So hopefully they're taking this year off to surprise us next year with something really great.
Hopefully. Yeah. Hopefully it's to work on the next gen titles. News of PlayStation 5 is already circling out there. And Xbox, Microsoft, they're also talking about creating multiple versions of their next consoles. So
we'll see.
We're really excited to see what happens there. So let's talk about Spider-Man. Beautiful game.
I loved it. I think that it was way more fun to roam around the city than the previous game, personally. I think that the flow was really good. The graphics were great. And you've mentioned before the conversations with some of the New Yorkers have been pretty interesting.
Yeah. I mean, even if you take everything away, for the first time ever in a Spider-Man game, could I just swing around New York City, talk to the New Yorkers, hear what they have to say. It was really fun just in that way.
Which I feel like it was really realistic with the New Yorkers, because we've been to New York and it was a great place, and so we've very interesting conversations sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact, I never even used the fast travel feature of the game once it was unlocked in the campaign, because it was just too much fun.
Yeah.
It was just too much fun.
I totally agree.
So the graphics, I can't say enough good things about them. The transitioning into cutscenes that really showed great action. The Sinister Six.
But what about the gameplay for me? The gameplay, the one thing that I wasn't a huge fan of was the fact that it felt kind of repetitive. I felt like it was kind of like, go to this location, beat up these guys, bring it over here, do it all over again. I did like how they mixed it up with different characters, and that you were able to play different missions, but they also kind of felt the same sometimes. Yeah,
it did have that repetitiveness to some of the how the missions are structured. The combat could also feel a little bit repetitive at times, but having the different suits, the unlockable special powers,
Yes,
the
the
craftable gadgets. You know, when the combat did feel repetitive, it was still fun to sort of web bomb
It was.
the enemies to the wall, or
The gadgets were really, really a fun thing to kind of get to know.
yeah, absolutely. And it kept it like I said, it kept it fun.
Kept it fresh.
It did. There were a ton of side missions that showcased all types of characters that we haven't necessarily seen in previous
Yep.
Spider-Man games, you know, like Taskmaster and Tombstone. I also have a written review of all of the games we'll be discussing. I'll be posting a link at the bottom of this video.
Check it out.
When we're done.
But what about the main bad guy for me, Mr. Negative?
Yeah.
I did like him. I liked his connection with Miles, but at the same time, Spidey felt to me not to have as big as an emotional connection.
Yeah.
I felt like he was a really, really cool character. The story was nice. Obviously, working at the homeless shelter with Aunt May, there was a connection there, but it just didn't feel like there was. And I wasn't overwhelmed with the connection that they had.
Yeah.
I guess it was kind of a little lack thereof for me.
Unlike Doc Ock and the Green Goblin before, they have that really personal connection with Pete, and you really want to get them for that. But this time, who really kind of, you know, got that personal connection was Miles Morales, which you get to play as him a bit. You get to play as Mary Jane Watson.
I love that. A little mix up.
And without putting out too many spoilers, you know, Miles definitely feels that personal connection with Mr. Negative.
That was a great way to end that storyline, and I think that's going to open up a lot of opportunities for some cool stuff, hopefully.
Yeah, definitely. They left it open to a much awaited sequel that I myself can't wait to play.
Me too, me too.
Yeah, so it's a great game. We would definitely recommend it. A ton of fun.
9 out of 10. I would give it a 9 out of 10. That would be my
Same
vote
here.
overall, just because there was obviously some glitches that I weren't a huge fan of. But again, that's personal preference for me. But I still would recommend it. It's a great, great, fun play.
Yeah, I actually gave it a 9 out of 10 in my written review.
I copied you.
And you know, the only things that I considered was the lack of personal connection with Mr. Negative, and the sort of at times repetitiveness of the missions and the combat. But other than that, it was great game.
What about AC Odyssey?
Oh, is that our segue into the next game?
Yes,
AC Odyssey. Wow, what a huge game.
Fun and beautiful.
That is.
Absolutely beautiful. Just like all the other Assassin's Creed, the landscape is always what I think that they do really, really well at. This one, unfortunately, I felt like they did, I hate to even say it, but they almost did it too good to the point where I don't know where I'm going half the time. And I don't know where my missions are, or get very sidetracked to the point where the main missions kind of, I forget what I'm doing, or I forget where I was in the middle. Like, I've been playing for quite a while now, and I'm nowhere near done. But
yeah, me either. I don't know that I'm going to finish this one. It's so big that it really makes it easy for you to get carried away in all the side missions, and it sort of makes the main story a little awkwardly long.
Because you just spent like 2 hours over here, and then it's like, then you do one mission
hours.
for the main mission.
It was days for me. It was days for me.
Well, same here, but I'm just saying that like it was one of those things where the side missions were so long too. Like, they're not just quick side missions where you go get something and come back, which of course they have that, but it also was very distracting, and the stories were really good in the story, like some of the side missions. So it was really hard to maintain that. I don't know, like I don't know, I just kept forgetting about the main missions and where to go.
Yeah, it's easy to do. Also, you know, the names of all the characters you meet are so similar that it can be tough. The Malakas. My absolute favorite part of this game, believe it or not, was the no fall damage upgrade that you get at one point. And more than that, the cool way that the assassin can jump off of tall structures or mountains and make
Just
it look
rolls.
cool, and he rolls. For the first time ever, that never got old for me. And again, the no fall damage is a feature that every game in the history of the universe should have. So finally, we get it in an Assassin's Creed game. And finally, we also get to Spartan kick our way through a beautiful and war-torn ancient Greek world.
I love it. I
which,
love the landscape.
You
It
know,
is beautiful.
that's just something that every gamer has been waiting for since the day of
300.
Yeah, exactly.
Since
300.
watching that movie, I think everyone's kind of always wanted to have that little experience of going up against someone or being in that kind of arena. Which
Definitely.
you do get to visit an arena. It might not be as, as big as a Coliseum, but that's a spoiler.
There are, of course, there is the battle arena, just like they did in Origins.
Yeah.
I'm sort of had mixed emotions. I felt like it could have been handled a little bit better. And, speaking of things that could have been handled a little bit better, I got very, very tired of using that damn eagle.
Okay, he is very fun to have, but I have to agree with you.
Yeah,
he
Icarus.
was very sweet eagle though.
We went from him being a tool the assassin could use in previous games to find chests, and now we have to use the eagle every time.
And you really have to.
You do, because when everything is so vibrantly colorful like Greece is, in a video game, it can make it hard to find the mission objective and things like that.
No,
so,
that's definitely my biggest bugaboo was just getting lost there.
Yeah,
it all looked the same.
The conversation choices was a welcome change.
I like that.
It kind of really gave you a sense of control over how the quests played out.
But it does kind of drive me crazy because sometimes I feel like I may or may not choose the right answer,
Well, of course.
and then I'm like, then I always have that feeling of what am I missing out on?
Sure.
What did I just fudge up that now I can't fix?
Right, and then I'm assuming they probably intended you to change that the next time you played it through, but the game is so big.
Yeah.
That seems like a long time away for me.
Our finished review on that game will probably be when we both finish it, which will be in like 6 months. Because it's just that massive.
Actually, I have a review up. Again, I'll post a link, but I would like to know what you think once you're as close to being done as you're going to get.
I will definitely keep everyone in the loop. I really enjoy the Assassin's Creed. I really always have, but this one was just too big for me, and I really liked the art and the attention to detail. I felt like was a little lacking when it came to even just riding your horse through some towns, just the glitchiness of it, It just wasn't as smooth as some of the other ones. Personally, for me, I really like the Connor Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's Creed 3.
I felt like that was a super, super smooth transition. I was able to jump off trees and attack bears, and I didn't feel like it was as glitchy. I feel like there's some things that kind of got overlooked because of how big the game is. It's just a massive game. So if you're looking just to explore, I think that is definitely something that is going to give you a lot of good playtime, and you'll never finish it.
It was a little disappointing that the studio that brought us Black Flag, which was my favorite Assassin's Creed game, they just kind of focused this time on making everything bigger and badder and longer, and I think that the game ultimately suffered for it. This whole need for Ubisoft to release a new Assassin's Creed game every year really takes away from the details and the quality. Yeah, absolutely.
It's quantity versus quality, I think. And it's not a bad game. It really is a great game. It's beautiful. It has a lot of cool stuff. One more thing that I know that you and I have talked about before is the fighting style. The fighting style is kind of I'm not the biggest fan of it. I hate to say it. I know it's like everyone's jacked up about it. I know they did it in the last one too, but it's just it's not my fave. And I feel like it's too controlled. I don't really have a lot of power or customization to how I want to attack people. It's just not great.
Yeah, it's the gameplay and the naval warfare. The combat in the naval warfare, I really could do without this time because it got so repetitive and it really takes away from the personal interaction between you and an enemy or a commander or whatever it is. Again, just a lack of attention to the detail there.
What about the loot?
Well, there's way
The
too much of it.
endless amount of it.
It's way too much.
You can customize your character. Again, this is a game for someone who absolutely doesn't want to finish it, who wants to have a game that they can play for weeks and weeks and months and months. Like, it's an endless game, and that is a really cool concept. It's just personally not my favorite style. I do like to finish a game and to finish a storyline and to understand it more, but I felt like, just like you've said before, the looting is just endless.
It's endless.
You never know what to do. You never know what is the best, because now you have you can't enjoy what you got because you keep getting more and more and more.
Yeah, you just can't the whole menus. You always have to be in the menus. You have to spend way too much time in the in-game menus in this game. I wasn't a fan of actually a lot of things in this game. I wasn't a fan of the bounty hunters and how they're always just respawning, and if you're not paying off your bounty in the menu, then you're constantly having to deal with these guys. And
I felt bad for you because at the very beginning of the game, he wasn't. I don't even know what level you were, but you ran into like a level 44, and you weren't even like a level 10 yet. It was pretty intense.
Well, yeah,
pretty intense.
that kind of speaks to my next point, which is the enemy level scaling that they kind of put into these games. The world is so very open from the get-go that it's easy for you to come across someone who is a higher level than you, and
right away.
Yeah, so I wasn't really a huge fan of that. And later on in the game, if you're a level 40 and every NPC is leveling up with you, you'll come across a pig that takes you 20 minutes to kill later on.
That one mission where you had like 3 different, or it was like a family of pigs, and you had to kill the main one. That was a tough one.
It was actually tough.
And just for like these little pigs, like, man, I got taken out so many times. I was about to rage quit, to be honest with you, because I really couldn't handle how long it was taking me. I'm supposed to be this assassin. I'm a badass, and now I can't even take out these pigs.
Right. I also did really not enjoy how many microtransactions they put into the game.
They always do that. That drives me crazy.
Yeah, but it seems like, for people who want to have the coolest look or the coolest gear, everything costs you money now.
And I don't like
I'm not a fan of that.
I'm not a fan of that because I feel like you buy the game and you're showing your support that way. Not everyone has an endless wallet. Like, let's just all be honest. So it's like I can't just keep spending $2 here, $5 here. Now you guys want me to spend $30 on a DLC. And you know what? Realistically, for all you people who are looking to do those microtransactions, honestly, you can probably find so much darn loot in that game that wait and hold off, save yourself a couple bucks, and just go explore and find something, because you can probably find something just as cool or just as strong. And besides the unicorn. The unicorn is really cool.
The unicorn, I believe that is something that's unlockable through the Ubisoft Club for completing certain in-game challenges. And
It's worth it.
I really do like that because it's free and you get rewarded for
playing
your gameplay. Yeah.
And that's how it should be. I think that's how they should kind of try to reward people a little bit more, because it is. I'm not even going to waste time talking about it just because I don't even like looking at the menus. But give us a break. Give us some stuff for free. Like, all these gamers out here, they want the coolest stuff. Stop penny pinching us.
Yeah. So it's like I said, it's a beautiful game. Me myself, it's not my favorite, and I probably wouldn't recommend this one to a newcomer to the series.
1 through 10.
I think I ended up at all things considered, a 6.5.
Ooh, ouch. Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't. I didn't acclaim it as much as some other reviewers out there.
I get it. I would probably give it a solid. I don't know. I would do a 7, just because I really loved running across like the pomegranate trees, or the taming of the animals was really fun. And again, It's an
Definitely.
explorer. Just explore. Just have fun with
Yeah,
it. And
it
then,
is. It is a gorgeous world,
Yeah.
and it's fun to Spartan kick people.
But don't
So.
start off in it if you aren't a huge fan of Assassin's Creed or don't have experience. I wouldn't throw yourself into this one because you might just be kind of scared away.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, it's a huge RPG world, and if you're a newcomer, maybe try one of the older ones that kind of stuck more to the, they're still
Black
beautiful
Flag was a great
games,
one.
but they stuck more to the sort of the what are they there to do?
Yeah. No,
what's
I totally agree.
what's the goal? And that brings up one more point. There wasn't a lot of Templar talk in this one.
No.
And I easily forgot about the present day character, Layla Hassan.
I constantly, again, because that was just one of those things where you would get caught up for days and days and days
Yeah.
doing these side missions.
Yeah.
And then you would randomly pop up and do a main mission every now and again. And then you'd be, oh, shoot, like, there's her. But, great game. Go out and try it. But just be prepared to lock down like the next 6 months of your life.
Yeah, definitely.
What about Red Dead?
Oh, Rockstar!
Red
Red Dead Redemption 2. What a fun game. That's just a fun game.
Interesting.
I think that a lot of gamers have that want to tame the Wild West, and we got a chance to do that the first time around with John Marston, and this time we get to prequel it up with Arthur Morgan, and it was.
Which I really like him. I think that he is.
Yeah.
He's a smooth talker. I like the character.
And
I
Rockstar.
Really like him.
Rockstar always does a great job with character development. The sprawling worlds.
The story is nice too. Like
it's a good story.
It is interesting. It does keep you holding on and can make you want to keep doing the game. But there are some faults to it that kind of drive me a little crazy.
Well, let's hang on for the faults.
Okay.
Let's talk about all the activities available in this game.
God.
So you can go hunting, you can go fishing, you can go bank robbing, you can rob a train, you can just go camping if you want to.
Which I'd love to.
I really enjoyed setting up a camp, going fishing or hunting and getting yourself
a gator,
some meat or a pelt or skins. That was really cool. You were able to craft things with those sort of ingredients, and that was great. Again, it's the game concept was awesome.
And it might become an open world. Didn't you say that? Like
no, they're gonna release the online portion, I believe.
That's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, I can't wait to see.
Honestly, the first time I even picked up GTA was like, that was kind of overwhelming to me. So now I can't even imagine what the Wild West, like who's gonna.
Yeah, I'm very interested to see what that's gonna be like. Now they're gonna release a sort of beta type of version at the end of this month. So I will certainly be looking forward to running around with some friends.
Crazy, I can't wait.
And robbing some trains. Now, unfortunately, whenever you did go and rob a train or a bank or even just a guy on a horse, it was never really all that clean. It would always end up in a big shootout, and you would get a bounty.
That happened to me too.
Well, yeah, it was always a big shootout, and I get it. It's the Wild West; it's supposed to be that. But sometimes I wanted to be able to put on my bandana, rob somebody, and just be able to walk away. And that didn't happen all that much for me.
It didn't happen much for me either. I honestly, sometimes I would just feel like it was almost directed that way. That it was meant for you to, just like you said, it's a Wild West. So you're meant to have a shootout, and you're meant to get tough and. Again, but I do like stealth sometimes.
Yeah,
when it comes to missions, I do like the idea of, just like you said, putting my mask up and riding off in the sunset with all my buddies, and that's it.
Unfortunately, I did feel at times that the game was maybe trying to be a little bit too realistic.
Like how?
The character movement was oftentimes very slow.
Oh my gosh.
Not very responsive to my immediate button press.
That's one of the most irritating things I think about the game. Just the fact that when I would press a button, it would take a couple seconds. And it's like, you know, I want to pull my gun out really quick, or I want to do something
Yeah.
really quick, and
Yeah.
I'm just button mashing, and then it's like he just slowly pulls it out,
Yeah,
and it's
but
like, give me a.
But it was cool to be able to store all of those things on your horse and
I love
have that relationship. See, that's where Rockstar really shines, is in the details of their games.
Like getting out to brush a
You
horse,
brush your
and
horse,
feed
you feed
him,
it, and
making
you have
sure
a
he's
good
alright.
relationship with him.
No,
Yeah.
I did love that.
Yeah, it's very cool.
And the legendary fishing, that can be
Yeah.
very difficult. Like,
Yeah.
don't think that you're gonna go up there and just go get yourself a big sturgeon, and it's just gonna be like the easiest
The legendary
thing.
ones were tough to reel in.
Oh my gosh.
And that being said, in the hunting, you know, it was oftentimes tough for me to get a perfect pelt or a perfect skin.
Yeah.
I usually ended up with like a poor or a good or whatever it was.
It was very rare. I think that you just have to use everything. You have to. The stars have to align perfectly, because
Yeah.
to be able to craft anything too at your camp, they always ask for the perfect pelt. So
Yep.
it's really, really difficult
Yep.
to get that. But at the same time, it was still a fun experience no matter what, to go out hunting. And skinning the animal, though, for me was a little bit too in depth. I get it. Everyone's
cool.
going to say that it's realistic, and that's
It
what it
was.
is.
It was.
But I could do without it.
Yeah.
I don't need to see him do it.
I know, it's pretty, it was very real.
Yeah.
Very real. My only other sort of qualm with the game was that the world felt a little bit big, and believe it or not, I got a little tired of riding the horse around sometimes if there was a
Yeah.
long stretch of land to cover. So I wish that, I know that there was some fast travel options, but I just
Take
wish
a turn.
that, yeah, you could take it right, sure, but I wish that sometimes you were just able to pull up the menu and hit a location and get
I
there
do too.
quickly.
But I think that's kind of what they were meaning to do, was that they wanted you to ride out for a long, long time and feel that emptiness in the world, that you
Yeah.
are out there and you are by yourself, and kind of give you that, not hopeless feeling, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like, it
Yeah.
gives you that feeling of
Sure.
you're just out in the middle of nowhere, and
You're out there by yourself.
you better get ready to camp down and prepare, because something might come for you.
Yep. And then I also just read that all 37 or 38 cheat codes for this game have been revealed. So if you guys, there is a
I
cheat
didn't even know
mode.
that.
Yeah,
You didn't tell me that before this.
yeah. I'm not exactly 100% sure what kind of cheats there are, but they're there. So
There you go, cheaters.
So we'll see if Rockstar is maybe now working on the next Grand Theft Auto, or if they're just going to focus on the online portion of Red Dead. We'll see.
I hope so. Grand Theft Auto is definitely, I have to say, my favorite game by far, because it's fun, and honestly, just cruising the streets with our friends and just mobbing. It's just fun.
Yeah.
And you just can't. It's just endless, and it's honestly, you can play that game for. We've been playing it for how many years? And we met
Since it came out.
And we met some really, really great people through it too. So it's a good community.
Definitely.
I like it.
Definitely. As for future releases that I'm most excited about, in January we have the remake of Resident Evil 2,
Oh yeah.
which has been long awaited, followed by Overkill's The Walking Dead, Anthem, and Metro Exodus in February.
Anthem,
So
man.
we'll be looking out for those.
I have to see that preview one more time. I feel like it's been
great. It looks
years. It's like, stop teasing me.
It looks great.
It does. It really does look great.
Otherwise, we're also huge into The Sims. We're big Sims nerds. So anytime there's a new feature or a new mode, like pets or the seasons they just came out with, we're always all about those.
I do love The Sims. It's just a good breakaway from the normal shooting out and the normal things that you can do. Like, you can just go spend an hour and just build your dream house, which we've done many of.
It is fun.
Like,
it is a lot of fun.
We have like an old colonial that has all antiques, but then we also have a super modern one that's like in the middle of the desert. It's interesting. We own a restaurant.
Yep, that's right. The businesses and the going to work part, becoming a detective, that was all a ton of fun.
It was super fun.
Well, guys, that's all we have for today. We hope you enjoyed talking with us about the big games we're playing, what we liked, what we didn't like.
And subscribe, because we're going to be posting videos every single week. Maybe even more often, depending on what we have to talk about. But definitely subscribe. We're new, and share, and
Definitely.
I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, and tune back in next week. We'll come back. We'll talk about Hitman 2, Fallout 76,
Oh yeah.
Call of Duty Black Ops 4. So we still have a ton of games before Christmas to talk about, and yeah, we'll be back here, same time, same place.
This has been fun, guys.
So come see us. Bye.
Bye.